Well, howdy, and welcome to the verse of the week. Praise the Lord. It's another week, it's another time. Pardon me. As always, we're going to start with our verse of the week from last week. I'll tell a little bit about what I've gotten, and then we'll give you next week's verse. Praise the Lord. In fact, it's very similar, but it's good. Praise the Lord. Of course, it is. It's the Word. Yeah. Well, last week we had Malachi 3, verse 6. Malachi 3, 6. Praise the Lord. For I am the Lord, I do not change. Therefore you are not consumed, O sons of Jacob. Praise the Lord. That was last week's. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I got out of it. Praise the Lord. There's more. But and of course, there's more in here if you will spend more time on it. Praise the Lord. So the first thing, the obvious, God doesn't change. He hasn't changed one iota in his entire existence. Praise the Lord. In our entire existence. Praise the Lord. And he doesn't change his mind. If he doesn't change, he doesn't change his mind. He doesn't all of a sudden wake up and say, no, that's it. I've changed my mind. I'm doing something else. Praise the Lord. His plan is still the same as when he started this. Praise the Lord. You know, there are a lot of people that think God's changed his mind, think God's decided that they're too bad or whatever, not worthy, etc. I know I've had those thoughts, but God doesn't change. He has always thought you were worthy. That's why he sent Jesus. I am the Lord, I change not. Praise the Lord. God doesn't change. He still loves you no matter what you have done. And some people say, well, how can that be? I mean, we don't do sacrifices anymore. Has God changed his mind about the sacrifices and all that stuff? Well, you have to realize this is God's plan, okay? God is an architect. He's built everything. And he's sticking to his plan. You know, if an architect starts on work on a house, he's got a set of plans. An architect has drawn up that set of plans to exact specifications. Okay? And even though there may be some small changes to one area, the plan hasn't changed. You say, well, last week there's a bunch of carpenters in there building this structure. Now there's a bunch of people running wires. They've changed that plan. No, they haven't. It's the exact same plan. The plumbers come in and they run the plumbing exactly according to plan. Praise the Lord. It's the same plan. That's like God. God's got a plan for your life. He's got a plan for the world, for the universe, and it's going to come out the way He's designed it to. Now, there have been a few changes, as we would call them changes, okay, little tweaks. For instance, where is in 1 Samuel 8? The Israelites came along and said, hey, God, we don't want judges anymore. We want to be like everybody else. We want a king. And God said, hey, this isn't my plan. This isn't what I want for you. But if you want a king, they kept insisting, kept insisting. He said, okay, I'll give you a king. But first, he told them what the king would be doing. And it came out exactly as God told him. But they insisted and they wanted a king, and they got exactly what they asked for. Praise the Lord. Did it change God's plan? No, it did not. Jesus still came. Okay? Praise the Lord. He hasn't changed. Yes, there are dispensations, there are different things like the dispensation of the law. That was one part of the plan. The dispensation of grace. This is one part of the plan, or the last days. That is part of the plan. The dispensation of all the different dispensations throughout time, they are part of God's plan. And to us, it looks like he's changed his mind. He's changed, but he hasn't. It's still going according to plan. Praise the Lord. God is still in control. He's still the master architect, and he's following his plan. Just like others, there may be a few things that have to be tweaked along the way, but it's still the same plan. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So, praise the Lord. You know, it's still God's plan to heal you. Praise the Lord. It is still God's plan for you to be healed. He hadn't changed his mind. It is still God's plan for you to receive your healing. Okay. I am the Lord, I change not. Praise the Lord. Malachi 3:6. Well, this week is very similar. This week's verse of the week is Hebrews. We're going up into the New Testament now. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. Hebrews 13, verse 8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Praise the Lord. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:8. Hebrews 13:8. Praise the Lord. Look it up in the version that you prefer. This is New King James. Look it up in different versions. Write them down. Spend time on them. Think about them. Talk it. Praise the Lord. It's not crazy to go around going, Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. It's part of memorization techniques. It's part of meditating on the Word. Praise the Lord. So it's not crazy to be doing that. And it's not crazy when you start having the Lord talk to you about it. So Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He hasn't changed. Praise the Lord. So start working on that, and I will see you again next week with another verse of the week. Praise the Lord.